Yeah.
What it do? All in Check podcast.
Episode number 5.
What's beef?
What's beef? StaceFresh.
I don't know. Anthony's over here looking like Los Bukis with his little ponytail slick back.
That's scandalous.
Marco Antonio Solis over
That's
here.
scandalous. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't even trying to rock it like that. If she's going to call me out like that, she's telling I'm straight up. You know what I mean?
We're kidding. So
She
welcome.
ain't kidding. She's giving me that crazy look like, fool, you need to chop that mop off your top.
Episode 5. We're talking rap beefs.
Who won it? I got bars for days, homie.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about it. So, first, spit that intro right there that you had right there.
Oh, shit. Okay, so let's take it back to hip-hop's initial start. When people used to spit in the park and MCs used to battle with each other about like who had the best rhymes. If you guys, I know the previous episode we mentioned Roxanne, the Roxanne film on Netflix. You kind of caught a glimpse of that there, and if you actually have brushed up on hip hop history, it's documented that people used to spit in the park and they'd battle for who had the best bars, who could outspit each other.
It was like for wages, for respect, for who ran certain parts of New York and stuff like that. So it was really like a high competitive thing. But I think at the end of the day, we weren't a part of that era, though, we grew up respecting it. I'm sure during those times it was all about respect. Yeah, you had those times where you were probably hated or got into some sort of brawl with people, but for the most part, it was all about respect and the culture of hip hop. And now it's just kind of it's all over the place.
And it was fun, and it was it was competitive to a fun degree, and for other people's enjoyment. When it started, so you can kind of look at that and see that. Rap beefs, that was the essence of it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was all good. If you lost
it was
to somebody...
it was like friendly competition, but you're still like, in the moment when you're going bar for bar with someone, you're just like, you're kind of hitting some soft spots or something personal, and someone, they don't like the way it sounds. But at the end of the day, it's respect. It's like whoever got it. Like whoever got the best bars is going to win for sure.
And I mean, that still exist at what is it called, like rap battles, like they still have like those rap battles like pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, they still have a lot of them. There's a lot of different circuits from here to Europe to all around the world. They still have them, especially across the states. I know in the East Coast they do have a lot of them. Here in California there's a lot of circuits as well too, so
and it's
still
a culture on its own.
Yeah, there's a lot of battle rappers that don't really care for regular rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's rappers that do believe that if you consider yourself a rapper, you better got some bars to hang in a battle. Don't just be trying to drop a single or EP. But everyone has their own opinion. Again, we go back to that all the time. But I think battle rap is definitely a dope part of the game. But not a lot of people could hang in it, and some people don't come up to do that. But I think it's an important part of it, how it started, obviously.
So okay, so that's our little intro on how we can view rap beefs, how they started in the beginning of time. So we asked you guys what did you think were the biggest rap beefs of all time? And
who's your favorite though? Before we start,
I don't have a favorite because I don't like seeing like rappers go toe to toe to each other.
You're like, I don't want to know if anyone's gonna die from this. Nah, it's crazy. Like, to touch that subject though, what's crazy, like, Stace, is like, it sucks when it comes down to it. In reality, then you end up finding out years later that it was kind of like a marketing stunt, or motherfuckers get shot or really badly hurt, or people around them that have nothing to do with it end up getting hurt for their actions when it was a marketing stunt or just a huge ego trip, like, and then all kinds of people get affected by it, but it was just for someone else's gain.
Exactly.
That's petty.
So going back to your question, I don't have a favorite, but if I the beef that I like to dissect and that there's so many like interesting components to, it's definitely the Tupac and Biggie beef.
Oh, of course. That one's like historic for sure.
And it's like, it's tragic, but it's just like, wow. Like if you really take a look at all the events that led up to that specific beef and how it ended, it's like, that's some tough shit. And it's very interesting to watch. But you guys commented like Nas, Jay-Z, just the classics. Someone noted Dr. Dre and Eazy-E, and I had totally forgot about that. But it's just like, there was a diss song. There was disses that were going back and forth, like Real Motherfucking G's. And I was like, oh shit, that was a thing. Someone mentioned 50 Cent and Ja Rule. Yeah. And that
kind of like ended his career, bro.
Yes. So we're definitely going to talk about that because I was, and I mean, I still am a Ja Rule fan, but, I was a traitor. Like, when 50 Cent came out and the streets, it was fucking hot for 50 Cent. I was like, man, Ja Rule, you out of the picture right now.
All I got to say, y'all, is these hoes ain't loyal. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, so now I'm a hoe.
They ain't loyal. You got to watch them. Sorry, Ja. She jumped off the wagon, bruh.
Wait, no, but bro, history repeated itself.
Yeah, he came back around.
When Game went at 50, best believe I had the West Coast on my back. I was a Game fan. I was like, okay.
That one was a real crucial one, too. That's when it's like was Black Wall Street and then like...
the GU Not movement.
GU Not movement, the clothes.
Stop snitching, stop lying.
I remember that. Man, we were in middle school at that time, obviously, but it was like hard. One week you seen everybody rocking G-Unit and had the shoes, had the clothes, and they were rocking everything G-Unit. Then like couple weeks later, the beef goes and everyone gets rid of the clothes, rid of the shoes. They're rocking GU Not, bumping the mixtapes. It is crazy how much influence these people have on the world, man. But
see, it might have not been, well, we saw it because we were West Coast. Like, we finally had, like, the Game was being backed up by Dr. Dre at the time. And we saw that whole GU Not movement, everyone wearing freaking red. The red chucks, all of that type of culture that the Game brought into the rap game during that time. Maybe other states like the East Coast, they were still supportive of 50. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. We just seen from obviously where it originates from, where Game comes from. We're seeing that response and everyone's responding to it like we got his back. You know what I mean? So it's funny that you said that because one time there was an artist in the station one time who was talking about that. Like, if I go to New York, I expect to hear some New York shit. And he was kind of upset because he's like, when I come to LA, I want to hear some LA shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I want to hear. And he meant like radio wise. And I was kind of like, it was a good concept he was touching on because it's true. Like, some pop stations, and I'm not trying to diss or nothing, but some stations cater to outside when it's like you guys should really be looking at your hometown and putting them on and supporting them. And that's where I feel like it's like a loss of communication, and it's not even about showing love anymore. It's about what's the hottest thing out and are we fucking with it or not. And I just think a lot of artists have that to say, and they always say New York does show a lot of love to their people before anyone else.
Yeah.
Which, as they should, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like people should learn from that. Just like Atlanta and Texas, and the Bay, they support their own all day. That's like their main thing is they back their own, and they'll put their own on before anyone else all day. And I just think people need to learn from that.
All day, every day. Do we want to get into the Nas and Jay-Z beef first?
Oh, yeah. She did a lot of research on this one, so I'm really interested to hear about this one.
I know. So I found out a lot of... Listen, I had to brush up on knowledge on this because I'm not the biggest... I mean, I like Nas, but I'm not the biggest, like, Nas and Jay-Z fan. I don't care for their beef, but I know they did have a beef.
Okay, wait. Do you care for Nas and Jay-Z, or do you not care for their beef? Which one is it? So, are you a Nas fan, or you're not?
I like his music, but I'm not,
Are you a big fan?
No, I'm not, like... What are you talking... Why do you make that face?
My God.
I'm not, like...
Okay, no, it's cool. I didn't know you were, like... I never knew that you were, like... whatever about it though.
I'm not a diehard fan to where I'm gonna get into every intricate detail of his
But you're like an overall fan of his music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. but I'm not like, I don't know all the ins and outs of that beef, and
No,
you know, I don't
study
either. His craft to a freaking T.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like big Nas fans. Like I know they get, you know, not obsessive, but it's like
they
to
do.
a T.
They know
like
all
he's the
the
greatest
in-depth
of all
research.
time, and they break it down, which
as anybody should be for their favorite artist. You know, I just like yourself. I feel like we just listen to so much music that I myself, like, I do music, but I don't have a favorite artist. Like,
me either.
I'd feel like I'll be lying to myself or lying to people saying who inspires me, or because there's so many that do, or so many I listen to, that it's kind of hard to be like a diehard fan for a certain particular artist.
All right, so the beef started in the 90s, and after Biggie's passing, Jay-Z stated in his song "The City Is Mine," and he was basically stating that he was coming for that crown right after Biggie's passing, the crown of New York, and that obviously didn't sit well with Nas. I mean, being of the competitive rap nature that he did grow up on and came from, and that was established at that time. In his song "We Will Survive," he stated, "These ends, using your name in vain, claim to be NY's king. It ain't about that." So then they started going toe to toe, with the bars. I checked out a VLAD TV interview with his baby mama, and with Nas's baby mama. She claims she had cheated with Jay-Z. So it could have been like some other personal drama.
For sure.
That
you know if women get involved, it's just like, that's just something you don't do, but a lot of the time it happens. You know, in this industry, in entertainment itself, people just do stuff like that, and it just starts a whole nother type of bad energy.
And so she claimed in that interview that she had gotten pregnant by Jay, and she had a miscarriage. And when Jay-Z made the song, supposedly, "Is That Your Chick?" it's about her, and he was aiming it towards Nas subliminally, like, "Is that your chick?" You know what I'm saying? And if you listen to that song, it's like he's treating that chick as like a hoe, like, you know, "Is that your chick?" Like,
and that's what they refer. They're like, critics are saying, or is it like been proven that he's talking, or that's just like it's
that's what critics are saying, and the baby mama confirmed it in this VLAD TV interview.
And she's all happy to be saying that song's about her.
I found that to be a little iffy, because, you know, VLAD TV is kind of like all about the drama, so I don't know if people get paid off, you know, to be on it and like tell stories, but it just seemed like she was really proud to tell her story, like, yeah, they were fighting over me. And she claims, like, during the interview, like, if you guys have time, watch it, she's very like, "I was the only person that could get through to Nas. I was the one that told him to calm down, and I told him to, you know, to come at him this way, because that was the only way he was gonna win that beef, blah 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 blah."
So I'm seeing this right here. What happens when it says beef reaches an all-time high, performing takeover on the 2001 Hot 97 Summer Jam stage? What happened?
Summer Jam, Hot 97 Summer Jam is like the biggest concert that New York has.
That's been going on for years.
Yep. So the takeover was I think Jay-Z, right? So Jay-Z went on stage and just kind of like dissed Nas, and
he was in the building, like he was there too.
I don't know.
Oh, but he just made it.
He made it public to the entire. I mean, you know, Hot 97 Summer Jam, New York City is definitely in the building. So that was like
anybody who's anybody was there.
That was a big freaking deal. And then Nas dropped Either, and completely, you know, hip hop went nuts over it. And
Ether.
What the fuck did I say? Ether.
Ether.
Sorry, that's my
Nas
Mexican
dropped
shit.
Ether, and it's a rap. Jay eventually throws the gloves off, and both rappers eventually made up.
Yeah, like years later, a few years later. But They were
I think in an interview though, I still think Nas, I want to say in the interview I seen Nas was like, I still killed it or whatever. Like they were in an interview together like on some cool shit, but like Nas still said, yeah, I won that, or he said something and Jay-Z looked at him like he wasn't even gonna try to argue with them. He's just like, whatever, like he's over it. It was funny though.
You know, what's funny is that, you know, now when they talk about it, it's two MCs that respect each other.
Mm-hmm. They're grown now.
They're grown, and even then, like I feel like they never took it to the streets. They never took it like it was competitive, and it was like, I'm gonna take a jab at you, but I feel like that stayed within words and within the public's, like, you guys determine who's winning this shit.
Yeah, and two, they could have been skirmishes that we don't know about between the people behind the scenes. Maybe they're street homies or their little soldiers, because I'm sure they got a lot of people behind them that we don't know who's operating for them. And at the time they were still kind of young and still fucking with the streets, I'm sure. So you don't know what kind of stuff happened at certain clubs that it wasn't as public now. Like everything goes straight to social media now. You hear about a beef and next thing you know it, everyone hashtagging the rapper that someone else dissed, and everyone could see what's going on live on social media. You know what I mean? So it's definitely being televised or live streamed right away. Instantly, you're getting the bullshit directly to you. Before, we'd hear in interviews or XXL magazine or The Source, you would hear about beef then and be like, what? You know, now you're getting it direct to you. You know what I'm saying?
I think that was probably one of the biggest beefs that New York City probably seen. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the only one that I can really be like.
Oh, 50 and Ja too.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like 50 and Ja, like people, I don't feel like a lot of people respected Ja. Like he had the hits, but it wasn't like Nas and Jay-Z where the streets had their back. Like they were spitting that real shit. Mm-hmm. And Ja Rule was more of like the mainstream artist. He was getting marketed
like he was like a hit maker. Yeah, exactly.
And then when 50 Cent came out, he did have
a hit. He was doing the mixtapes,
but he was doing
grimy,
the mixtapes and
then
all of that.
He did like some radio stuff. So to touch on that, like I was reading the 50th Law, written, like I think it was co-written by 50 Cent, but written by Robert Greene, who interviewed him and spent a lot of time with him. I haven't fully read the book, but in part of it, it was saying how 50 Cent is a really strategic person. I know he starts beef with a lot of people, and he speaks his opinion, and he doesn't care what people really think. That's what I think's courageous and bold, and he don't give a shit. But he went in on Ja Rule that, you know, it was, don't quote me on it, but in the book, it was like Ja knew of the real people putting in work. Ja knew or hung around particular players in the game, like the street game, that, you know, he was able to rep or act a certain way because he, you know, he had the juice with certain people or whatever. Well, 50 Cent's initial strategic plan was to go in at him and prove to the streets and the people that he's not really as gangster as he claims to be, or he's not this guy you guys think he is. He's just an act, you know, and whether he is or not, he was still a paying artist, and he has an image. Like a lot of people create an image, and sometimes an image can be true. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to us as long as you're getting your money. But if your health and your life's involved in that, you got to really be careful or be aware of what you're portraying, because it could lead to some serious damage on your well-being. You know what I'm saying? And that's 50 Cent's strategy, was to go in on it at him and just keep poking at him. And some people will eventually fall apart, or they can't compete, or some people are just gonna be like, fuck it, you know, what's the point of even responding to dude? Exactly. Because I don't know, I'm sure you heard of it too, but before, Drake has responded to a lot of people now that are shit talking him, but he used to, in interviews, I think from years ago, probably when he was actually like working with Ninth Wonder and when he was first coming up, I think he used to say like, if someone disses me, I wouldn't even respond to him. And I think that's how he used to treat disses. He wouldn't even respond to people. And I don't know what his term or definition he used for that was, but I feel like he said like, what's the purpose of me paying someone that like time or attention to? But now he does, because obviously it's like on a way broader scale, or maybe he just feels like
I
he'd
think
rather ruin your career if you
exactly
try to go,
because
because he has such a huge fan base. His
it's like
sounds on point. He's winning right now.
exactly. I think the people has spoken, and he's such like he runs the game whether you like it or not. Like he came at an era where people were in search, like the new generation were probably in search of a new sound, and it just like they related to it quick, so he got in a position of power where it's like, oh, y'all want to call me the rap singing motherfucker,
yeah, you
that
know
I'm
what's
not
crazy,
hard
it's
enough.
like he kind of created this lane,
Mm-hmm.
like the singing and rapping. He kind of, I'm not gonna say he invented it or molded it, but he sure
He brought it to the light.
whoever
Yeah.
created it, if it was created yet before, you guys can say, well, this artist used to do it, but no one paid him no mind, because you know nothing's original. But he mastered this type of sound that he's won so much for, and gained so much popularity and so much money for it. So it's like, I don't know, it's pretty intense that like it is what it is now, and you got to just roll with it. And I just think he's dominating that. Like I remember, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a Drake hater, but I just didn't care for it. And then it's like over time, like I said, when I started working in radio,
and then when a girl broke his heart and
shut
stuff,
up. Yeah, I
he,
used to,
you know, that's what he listened to. He's like, all right, Drake.
I
you
used to
feel
Drake
me?
and jive, but I almost crashed, so I stopped doing that. Nah, but just being in the industry a little bit, and dabbling into mainstream and understanding more of the pop music, which is the popularity music, what's trending. I began to understand it a little more. It doesn't mean I have to agree with everything, but I understand it a little bit more. So I have obviously a much more higher respect for Drake, obviously because of what he's doing on all levels. He's a business genius as far as music, because here again, like whether he writes his raps or not, he acquired a team that is killing the game. So whether you got a dope ass writer, a dope producer, dope engineer, dope street team, dope, you know, photographer, video, if you got all that set up, you're gonna win. You know what I mean? So you're paying top dollar. You're working out. Your appearance, images, all on point. You're winning. So that's one thing that I told myself, and I try to other people that are hard headed and shit. I try to tell them like, you gotta respect it though. At the end of the day, like you don't gotta like the dude, but if he's winning, there's a reason why he's winning. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta learn to respect that, because you can't hate on somebody getting money.
For shizzle dizzle. Going back to the 50 Cent and Ja Rule thing, like that's a beef that it definitely ended Ja's career. It depends how you look at it, because supposedly Murder Inc. was already
he had a great
in
run
trouble.
though.
Yeah,
he had a great run, but the way it was like going, the curve
like the
it was
sequence,
taking,
like everything after the other, it kind of looked like 50 was the one that ended his career, but
a lot of people will argue and say that though,
that it was like the label, and it was like label purposes, like Ashanti has gotten on interviews saying that the label kind of like crashed and burned, and it just depends how you look at it, but it's definitely had his run, and it was unfortunate that he did some years like shortly after, like when 50 Cent was popping off, like then he went to jail or some shit like that, and that could do a lot to your career.
Yeah.
Look at the Remy Ma situation. She was blowing up right before she went to jail. She was supposed to be the Nicki Minaj of that generation. Mm-hmm. I truly believe that, because she had, her debut album had came out. She had There's Something About Remy. She had Conceited playing on MTV. She had songs with Neo. She had the whole Terror Squad backing her up during that generation. And then she went to go do time for whatever she went to go do time for.
And mind you, though, when she got out, though, she still created a hit. And they came up, so... But it's just, like, that just goes to show, like, you guys gotta, like... If you're in a place of a power position, just please do all you can to maintain yourself and try not to let people get under your skin. And do all you can to protect yourself and prevent yourself from situations that may get you caught up. Or
Mm-hmm.
as Kanye tells Jay-Z, I know you got some shooters. I know you got shooters. You know what I mean? So, if you need people around that can take care of you and protect you, you need to do that, because you don't want to get caught up in a bind, and your career could be in shambles because of that. And she suffered for that, but she came out winning still. And Papoose got her back, so it's like they're
She's
doing
still
they're
doing
doing
well
really
off.
well.
Yeah.
You know.
She's still doing her thing. Um, all right. The Dr. Dre and Easy E beef. Do we want to
Yeah,
really
you
get into
touched up on
that?
that. Then there was Bow Wow and Little Romeo.
I put that in there because it was real, even for these children out here. Like
They're boxing in the
I
street,
really feel like
squaring
there
up.
was like what they were like 12 years old, or
I don't even
13,
remember their beef.
but I feel like there was a beef.
I think it was just more like
A
who's the
fan
cute
preference.
little kid, who's the cute little kid rapper at the time, him or me, and they let their fan base go at it.
Yeah, I was a little.
Did you ever join like a fan club where you sent letters in? Back in the time when it was like about that, it wasn't just like follow on IG. Did you ever join like a real fan club?
I think J14 magazine, if I remember the magazine right, I think it was J14 magazine. It was like a pop culture magazine. At the very end of the magazine, they had all the like fan club addresses, and I'm pretty sure I sent one to the Ja Rule like fan club, but then I was just like, he's probably not gonna read this, and then I was just like, what if he writes back or whatever? But yeah, that was the only time I think I sent a fan letter.
I would always see it, but I never wrote to it because I thought the same thing. Oh, they'll never respond. But there were some people out there who probably sent tons of letters, because you see like these interviews and they're like, look at all these letters I get. So do you want to touch up on present time now? What's really going down? Because you know the scoop on all that cheese, man. All the drama.
Then there was okay, so present time. We have Nicki Minaj versus Lil Kim. That was a thing a few years back. And it was a thing because, Lil Kim was making diss records. Mm-hmm. And Nicki Minaj, in her hit records, she would, throw little jabs here and there, like subliminally. She wouldn't say her name. She wouldn't go toe-to-toe with a complete diss track, but she would say, like, I can't even recall, but she just say things like, I'm quote unquote, like kind of like saying like, I'm running this shit, like you're a has-been, or shit like that. But Kim was completely open to getting on interviews at Hot 97, anywhere she could find, and be like, that stemmed from her not paying respect to me when she came in the game, because she was biting a lot off my look. And Nicki wouldn't really like admit to that. She'd completely act like Lil Kim was just a has-been and didn't really contribute anything or inspired her in any type of way. But
you definitely got to get inspired from something, you know what I mean?
And she was definitely inspired by Kim.
Something's got to spark in your mind, is like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. So no idea is truly original. You know what I'm saying?
The wig thing, the pose of her like squatting down and opening up her legs in a thong, the being a Barbie, the Barbie thing.
Being able to spit the sexuality, there's similarities. I'm not saying that it's completely bitten, but there's similarities and inspiration and
hands down, that's totally Lil Kim, because Lil Kim was the only one that took it to that level.
Yeah, exactly.
So
isn't it funny though? Like, you see Cardi B, she's so like, I know she got, I wouldn't say instantly famous, but her hard work paid off. But how humble she is. Like, all these artists are shaking her hand and she's like fanning out. And it's funny because it's like she's on such a high platform now. And then like you'll see like Jay-Z go up to her and shake her hand, and she's like blushing, and she's just like so down to earth. She wants to like
scream, but she's like holding her composure.
Yeah, she just wants to be like a normal person, like that. Well, that's who she is. She is what she is, and you got to just accept it for what it is. And it's just funny seeing that though, because she's like so respectful of the game. She's not like, oh, I started this and I'm doing that. She pays homage to everybody, and she's just like so open to things. And I don't know how she'll be in 10, 15 years if she's still killing it, but right now she's just enjoying it and taking it in humbly. She's like, it's a blessing for her, and it's funny and cool seeing that, how like she doesn't walk around like, oh, I got this. Like,
there's like no ill intention in the way that she's
even
doing it
like,
right now.
and this is her beginning. Some people who that I've seen, like, and there's no need to name artists, but there's people that we see who we don't know how long behind the scenes they were in the game, but that get in the game and they're in that position and they're just like, what, they act like they got it already, like, well, I don't need to worry about this, but in reality, it's here today and could be gone tomorrow. So some people just embrace it and enjoy it while it's there, for sure.
So then there's then we kind of touched on it, the Nicki Minaj and Remy beef. When Remy got out, they were supposed to be like friends. They showed kind of like love to each other, but then
it went south.
I really don't know how it went south, but it went fucking south. And then there was help me say this again. Sheether. Whatever.
Sheether.
Okay. So then Remy dropped that and like she murked.
Yeah, but
Nicki.
then Nicki tried to come back. Or I heard like they were trying to say that Papoose wrote that for her, and I don't know. I just hate shit like that because everyone just always has their opinion. And Nicki just kept
coming at her with like, oh, how many hit records have you sold? How much money you got? She was like going on the gram, twirling and getting in her private jet, saying, you bitches can't even pronounce so and so. And
I seen a funny ass Instagram post where her saying shit like that, and you gotta see it. It's too funny.
And I'm just like, to me personally, it was annoying because it's just like, you're not coming from a humble place, and yeah, you might be on top of the freaking world right now, but if we're strictly talking hip hop, Remy Ma, fucking murks the shit out of you. A lot of people say that Nicki can fucking spit, and I don't know how I feel about that, because I think she can spit, but she doesn't have that grimy street type of shit. She's
I think when she was first coming up, she was like that. Her old like stuff, her really old stuff, when she was like not the Nicki Minaj you see, she was stuff. Busted looking kind of back then. Like she was grimy with it. She was real grimy with it. I just think it's more pop. It's more hip hop. Honestly, I'm not trying to discredit it, but it's becoming pop, and I'm not sure if that's what people wanted it to be, but for the most part, hip hop is like the new culture shock in the music entertainment world. Mm-hmm. Everything you see, commercials on TV, you're seeing movies, you're seeing television shows, comedies. Everything is backed by a hip hop bed in the background. You're hearing vocals. You're hearing anything about hip hop is now in the media. Before it was like a certain genre or a certain culture. Now it's just like influencing the entire culture of the world. People are becoming
the way people dress.
Exactly. So it's like so it's in time became pop, but there's different sub genres or whatever how you want to label it, but it's now that. So when these people are doing it like Nicki Minaj, it's more in the sense that she's doing whatever the times or the sound or wherever sound they're taking it. It's gonna go because they got 4 to 5 or how many million followers tuning into that sound or what she's doing, and they're buying it. You know what I mean?
And ultimately, it's also a way to eat. So they're gonna do whatever gets them paid and whatever the consumer is consuming.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They test the waters. They'll probably put something out and be like, let's see what they do with it. And if everyone's biting that and they like that sound, they're paying for it and they're loving it, they're gonna keep on and until they gotta change it up again. And it's really up to...
And that's where you get into the debate of, like, people killing hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, like, you have to look at it. I'm pretty sure it's a Nas quote. I read this somewhere.
He said hip-hop's dead?
No, he said it in like, a book where he said, I can't be mad at where the, hip-hop has gone. Because at the end of the day, it brought it's bringing food and money into motherfuckers who had nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it's a way, like,
it was a way. It became a way of life for people to survive, and then if they found a balance, and it's totally understandable and agreeable. But some people take full advantage, obviously.
I mean, listen, like, we can argue about this, but it's just like, when you're talking about a means to survive and a means to, put money in your pocket off of this shit, sometimes you have to give people what the fuck they want.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you look at some of your favorite underground rappers, the reason why they, you think because you listen to them on iTunes or you listen to them they're on YouTube or whatever, you think they got it good. Nah, they're still struggling, you know?
There's a lot of artists that it's like, that's what people don't understand. Like, if you really support an artist, please do all you can to support them, because they eat off the shows you go to, the touring, that's where they eat the most, and their merch. Sometimes they own the rights to their music, but if they don't, how much you really think they're getting paid off streams? It's like point something cents, like, bro, on these streams. So it's like, if you're not doing millions, if you're not doing thousands of streams, bro, you're barely eating. So it really, these artists do survive off those hit songs they made back in the days. They're still getting checks from that. Or if they don't have many hits, but they're just all around dope artists, they're getting paid off the shows, the merch, and whatever else hopefully they invested into. You know what I mean? So it's definitely taking a whole different turn for music, but that's really what it is, though. Like how you're saying, though, is it was either, get involved in what they used to do, which was probably not a healthy lifestyle to survive or make an ends, or do the norm, which they just didn't feel like they can do, was to work a 9 to 5 or work a minimum wage job till they died. In which they seen a lot of their parents or people who try to stand for something do for so long, and they seen that it really didn't get them far. Some people probably had decent lives and enjoyed it and respected it, and then some people completely dreaded it. So they had an option and a choice, and they ran with it, and whatever worked out for them, it did. But you're talking about 1 in a million right here. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's gonna get that shot, and when they do, these people win tremendously. And hopefully it's not wasted talent, and they don't blow the money that's coming in really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I would love a yacht for sure. But I'd also like to make some investments as well.
So, and then present time, I mean, you did have like Drake and Meek Mill,
Go
at it.
Game and Meek Mill too.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
really?
Bro, you gotta do some homework. Yeah, he went in hard.
I thought
there's like a
homies.
line. He's like, there's a line he tells Meek, and I think this is when he, like, I don't know if Nicki just didn't want to deal with all the beef no more, but he was like, she was just like, I'm done with this. But Game was like, he says something. He's like, I've been wanting to give Nicki this pool stick.
What? I did not know this.
Funny, bro. Like, yeah. So it's like Drake went in on him, and then then the Game went in on him. Like, there's a lot of beef.
By the way, Meek Mill is free.
Yeah. Shout out to Meek. Hopefully everything works out for him. I'm sure he's gonna drop another album. Me and my boy Ludo were talking about that. He is most likely gonna drop an album because he had time to write in there for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's gonna be an album coming soon. There's a lot of beefs that we didn't touch on. We're touching on the larger beefs that were like spoken about for many years, and things that were kind of, especially the present ones, were obviously on social media and in the media, of course, for some time. So if there is some that we're not touching on that you guys do like, and you guys want us to post links or videos or clips, make sure you guys comment in the image that we post of today's podcast. So make sure you guys comment below, let us know, or DM us some links, and we're gonna post them up and keep the conversation going about the most the most craziest or coolest beefs you guys remember or recall. So we have something to keep talking about as far as that goes, because there's a lot that we didn't touch on, but we obviously, like I said, we're touching on the bigger ones, the ones that were for sure known even to people who aren't hip hop inclined or even care for hip hop too much. You know what I'm saying?
And probably, so let's end that little topic on the biggest one, obviously, and it's gonna be Pac and Biggie. Mm-hmm. And you know how they were friends. It started off. There's a lot of details that go into it, but I was watching Unsolved. what was it, like unsolved
the
murder
on the USA on that one, on the most
yeah.
recent one they made, right? Yeah, I haven't
So
got a chance to see that yet.
you know, they were touching, they obviously were friends, and there was a fallout. There was definitely a fallout, and supposedly, and this is coming from Biggie's mother, she stated in the interview that that the reason that they had a fallout was because somebody got killed in Atlanta, and it was Puffy's family, like a family member of Puffy's, and they thought that it was
an affiliate.
Is it? Do I say Suge or Suge?
Suge Knight.
Suge Knight. They thought it was Suge Knight, and that it was, you know, it was a result of Suge Knight's beef with Puffy. So supposedly they had a beef, and it ended.
And this is like the most recent findings and information, right?
Yeah. So, and just because Pac was affiliated with Suge, and Biggie affiliated with Puffy, and it was Bad Boy Records against Death Row Records, you know, it turned them against each other. And also, you know, like when Pac got shot in that elevator in New York when he was going up to the studio.
Quad Studios.
Yeah, so he said that supposedly he got set up, and he blamed it on Biggie. So it turned into this whole mess of assumptions and but initially it wasn't their beef. Like, they had no beef with each other.
Yeah, it was the powers that be. But see, you got egos that are controlling in the industry. You got these egos, and they're seeing dollar signs. You know what I'm saying? So it could have been something that, like I said, this could have been all streets and just real.
It spilled onto the streets.
You know, it did. But what I'm saying, or it could have just been a money-driven motive that turned south. You know what I'm saying? That people ended up getting hurt that they didn't think it was going to get taken that far. But you're talking about the 90s. You're talking about hood shit is super active. People are carrying, and they're packing, and they're not giving a shit at that time. People are just ready to just do what they got to do. And that's the time you had it. Then it created this whole East Coast, West Coast thing.
Exactly.
All this noise was going on. And the sales, though. The sales of the disc records and the albums through the roof. So much crime was happening. So much politics in the streets. So it's like, at the time, it was like perfect. And then, so you see those models, meaning the models of how the business operated with these rap beefs, you know, and the people in power is obviously the people of a white descent, you know, no disrespect, to the people who doesn't really care for minority groups. They were all for it. They enjoyed it. Like, let's let these motherfuckers go at it with each other. Who cares? We're bringing in money. We're bringing in money, radio play. Everything's going crazy. Our numbers are through the roof. Let's see what they do, what happens. And no one thought it was going to turn out tragic, but that's what I'm saying. You would think people learn from it, but it's still continuing to this day. And it's still happening where people are getting shot, injured, and hurt. And like I said, part of it is probably real ego and real drama. And another part of it is sales, Instagram fame, notoriety, and more views on YouTube. Like, that's what it's starting to become.
Yeah,
it's like,
nowadays,
who's going to downplay the next person? So I think one of the last ones that you missed, and it's actually, instead of just YG, it should be YG Game and everyone in hip hop versus Tekashi 6ix9ine, and that's including his own kind of people, because he claims to be this doesn't claim, he says he's Mexican and I believe Puerto Rican or Salvadoran, but when he speaks he represents he's Mexican, but they are completely disowning him. I'm serious.
We don't want that leprechaun looking motherfucker.
Look at me personally. I have nothing against dude.
I like one of his tracks.
It's like a lot of it's just like he's not the one to be on his side right now, because he's in a position where the whole world, the whole nation, and every ethnicity is against this dude, and they want to see him hurt or badly injured. Yet again, before I cut you off or tell you, like he said, if you guys watched the Breakfast Club interview, his manager was speaking for him too, and he was speaking for himself. We are in an era where these kids, or people of our generation, because we're young, but people of our generation, but we do have common sense, are able to be on the internet and talk shit to people, or to think they're this or think they're that,
and
or
think
say
they're
that.
Untouchable.
It's exactly. It's a freedom of speech, and we're in a generation of people who are just becoming trolls on the internet and making millions of dollars and just becoming famous for just doing troll ass shit or doing crazy shit. And in a sense, they are crazy and outlandish, but at the same time, these dudes are making money. And if you're willing to put your life on the line for certain things you say and do, more power to you. But I'm cool. You know what I mean? But he's sticking his neck all the way out there and starting trouble with a lot of people. But like his manager was saying, you know, it's a free country. You're able to say whatever and do whatever you want and please. And, you know, and he's going to keep doing what he's doing. I just, you know, hope they said a prayer for him in that interview. So hopefully his life's blessed and nothing very dangerous happens to the dude. But that's probably one of the biggest beefs, and gangs are getting involved, whether it's Crips, Bloods, SAs. I don't know who else is going in on them, but everybody's against this dude right now, and they're pretty much saying, you know, when you come into our town, you better call and check in, and he's got to do that. And he's saying the complete opposite. Like, I ain't checking in. I'm not telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be at where I'm going to be at, and you guys can't do nothing about it. And I think that's pissing people off too, because he's just going on and going on. But if he gets touched, he does, and if not, he doesn't. And it's really up to his fan base and the people and radio stations and all that, whether his career will survive or will it crash. Because if he continues to put out hits, he's going to obviously keep getting plays and being asked to perform at shows. It's like money's not going to stop unless, like I said, someone really harms him or he dies out.
And that's just the thing. Like, you have I'm not sure how old he is, but you have someone that obviously grew up in this like generation where maybe gangbanging wasn't as relevant, or maybe, you know, like, you know, these kids don't get touched. It's all social media.
Yeah, so, or it's like,
and then
it's
you
not
got
even
motherfuckers.
No,
yeah, and then you got motherfuckers like YG. You got motherfuckers like the older freaking heads that are looking at you like, this is some real shit. You claiming this gangbanging shit? Like, nah. Like, we come from the era when that shit was still
so
like.
It's like they take it to heart and they take it serious, and like, and then too, nowadays there's some people that are just, they'll shoot. They don't even care. Like, there's just people that don't care no more, like they did before. Like, they just don't care. Like, they got someone just like, whatever, just do it. You know, like, that's why you just got to be careful with what you do and what you say. But at the same time, there's the minimum, like, what is that new generation? Generation Z or Generation X, or what do they call?
I think Z.
Well, I don't know, but the new generation is like, they don't give a shit what they say, and they're wilding out, dropping Tide Pods and doing the condom snorting challenge and all this other stuff, and they just don't give a fuck. So, whatever you guys are on, I'd like to try a small dosage of that, because it's crazy. You guys are just wilding out.
Not giving a fuck.
YOLO. Oh, no, that was us, huh? That was Drake.
That was YOLO. Us. That was YOLO.
I don't know what their motto is now. Lean it. I seen a post today, and in the post it said, back in the day we used to lean with it, rock with it, and now they're sipping lean with a rock in it.
Fuck yeah.
They're sipping lean with a rock in it. Yeah, they're definitely doing that. But check it out. Want to get into this new music?
Yeah.
All right. So this new song that I'm going to drop is from an artist out of Monroe, Louisiana, who is currently residing in Atlanta. His name is Mr. KID Huey P, and the song's called I'm Wavy.
Straight out of Trap House. Trap House. Trap House.
Hey, Sal, I see you, man. Aim high, nigga. Pluto gang.
DJ ASAP.
Hey. I'm a genius, baby, this is my thesis. You can catch me where the east is. Racist changed history, why is the reason? We was kings, but they was screaming out treason. Call a racist crack a demon, giving black woman designer for semen. While we young Huey P try to fight back against this racist system, they call me a heathen. I know the reason, politically speaking, Your flow nice, but I mean you the follower, I'm the leader. Now I'm on, got the big head like I'm Gina. Used to drink that ad like it was Aquafina. Used to be a real drink sipper, but I had to quit her. Especially when I found out I was fucking up my kidneys and my liver. Got a queen, no thoughts of divas. Unorthodox flow off the meter. Won't stop until I'm in your speakers. Hope you got some knocks, some bass, and some tweeters. Used to sell green for some sneakers. 90s flow, just like a beeper. Dope flow straight out the needle. Yeah, we both human, but we still not equal. I could never be beneath you. You transparent, boy, you see through. Claim they real, but they be fucking fried. Got put over, then take his charge. Pluto gang nigga don't fuck with Mars. No sense they cannot fuck with my bars. I be so high, I be watching TV, really thinking I be dancing with the stars. I'm from the boot like the Creole and Voodoo. Toaster on me, turn you to toaster scroodle. If you a dog, I'm a pit bull, you a poodle. Aim at your noodle, pull off in the Uber. Chopper so big as the size of a tuba. Free my shooter, Miro, and my dog Scooter. I'm the big kahuna, boy, you just tuna. Only keys you move is on the computer. I know they hate me, but they cannot phase me. From the streets everywhere I go, I'm gravy. Bumping that NBA 38, baby. I killed the wavy challenge and I'm wavy, nigga. I don't tolerate no disrespect. You get checked, your flow sick, I disinfect. Batter up, I'm up next. Making currency, selling jets. Make them hoes break they necks like he sweat. You would think we was Migos the way we take off with kilos and offsets. Real nigga from the projects who they said wouldn't progress. Keep the plastic, latex, safe sex. Underground monster, I'm the Loch Ness. Nick. Yeah, it's Mr. KID, Huey P, yours true.
Pluto.
Hey, Mr. KID, Huey P, I'm Wavy. Shout out to Louisiana. Thank you guys for checking in. Shout out to the artists from all around the areas that are hitting us up to get their music spun. Again, you guys can follow Mr. KID, Huey P on Instagram at _HUEYPNEWTON, which is _Huey P Newton. Then you guys could also find his album or mixtape called Louisianimal on Spinrilla. Again, Spinrilla, search Louisianimal.
All right, and my pick of the week is by Dras, aka Dras Wop. He's from Stockton, California, and you guys can follow him on Instagram and Twitter under Dras Wop, and that's DRASTWOP. And the song that I chose was Problem Kid.
All right, let's get into it. Yeah.
I be yawning off a lot of shit. A problem kid be flipping notes and popping by the script. Never reading scripts. Say, whoa, we ain't coolin' shit. Ain't no coolin' bitch, I'm with my bros and we ignorant. Let's get into it. I be yawning off a lot of shit. A problem kid be flipping notes and popping by the script. Never reading scripts. Say, whoa, we ain't coolin' shit. Ain't no coolin' bitch, I'm with my bros and we ignorant. Let's get into it. Hey, who are you to tell me who the fuck I really be? You ain't blood or related, nigga, get away from me. I know bloods and related with some niggas in the streets. Ain't no love when we faded, niggas hating bitches creep. If it's love, we'll take this flagrant, baby, hide this at your reach. Niggas quit to leave you stinking, better practice what you preach. What the fuck you niggas thinking? Bitches on me like a leash. Quit to take a fucking knee and bound down to me like a king. I be yawning off a lot of shit. A problem kid be flipping notes and popping by the script. Never reading scripts. Say, whoa, we ain't coolin' shit. Ain't no coolin' bitch, I'm with my bros and we ignorant. Let's get into it. I be yawning off a lot of shit. A problem kid be flipping notes and popping by the script. Never reading scripts. Say, whoa, we ain't coolin' shit. Ain't no coolin' bitch, I'm with my bros and we ignorant. Let's get into it. Dear Father God, I know that I've done wrong. Through my thoughts, my actions, and the things that I've said. Sometimes by mistake, sometimes on purpose. I have gone my own way and not put you at the center of my life. I am very sorry and ask you that you please forgive me. Thank you that I can ask you this because I truly believe that your son, Jesus, died in my place, and through him, I have access to you. Please help me to follow you more closely every day and live a life which gives glory back to you. I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen. I be yawning off a lot of shit. A problem kid be flipping notes and popping by the script. Never reading scripts. Say, whoa, we ain't coolin' shit. Ain't no coolin' bitch, I'm with my bros and we ignorant. Let's get into it. I be yawning off a lot of shit. A problem kid be flipping notes and popping by the script. Never reading scripts. Say, whoa, we ain't coolin' shit. Ain't no coolin' bitch, I'm with my bros and we ignorant. Let's get into it.
Hey, that was Dressed Wop. Again, you guys can follow him on Twitter and Instagram under Dressed Wop. And his SoundCloud is soundcloud.com/dressed1. That's ONE at the end after dressed.
There you go. So, new music that we are going to be talking about today. New albums, obviously. Have you heard that Cole yet?
Not all the way through, but I just picked and chose the songs that I'm sticking to. And right now, Kevin's Heart is on replay.
That's a dope song. If you guys haven't seen the music video, check that out. We don't need to explain it or give him any more love than he already got and he deserves. He's already breaking streaming records like crazy. So if you guys haven't heard it yet, which I'm sure you have, it's J. Cole, KOD. Get the album, stream it, do whatever you got to do to listen to it, but it's a great piece of work. Stace put me onto Jim Jones' Wasted Talent. I've listened to the whole album twice. I never was a huge fan of him, but I do like that grimy, gritty sound that he brings, that New York flavor. It's dope.
Don't you think he kind of like mixed it up with new age shit too?
Yeah.
It's
So
like
he wasn't
grimy
afraid.
New York and a bit of like the new wave.
Yeah,
too.
and he's pretty much banging on wax too. So that's what it sounds like. It's real grimy, but it's dope. It's different. It changes it up a little bit. It's out of my comfort zone, but I like it because it's fresh. It's new. And just something, if you want to get pumped up in the gym or when you're out riding, you feel like mobbing or some shit, it's something good to listen to. Another great project that I listened to is by Smoke DZA. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's pretty well known. And the album's called Not For Sale. That just dropped on 420. Blaze it. It actually dropped on 420. It's a good project, though. I've been listening to that lately. Touching on what Stace was talking about earlier, Nas, we brought up Nas a lot today on this episode, but I got a chance to catch a glimpse of his live performance with an orchestra, and it was dope because he performed Illmatic, which I believe it's well over 20 years old on the album he dropped, and got so much love for it because he had no features on the album, similar to what J. Cole is doing today in this time of age of hip hop. But the album is called Illmatic Live from Kennedy Center. You could also stream that right now, so check that out. And then what I also have last, I don't know if Stace is gonna add to it, but Mosenrath, local artist who got some heat, his album that he just finally released on streaming platforms, which he has multiple albums, but this is the first one he's actually released for sale. And I think it's a really dope thing to do. And the song's called Legal Ganja. So go and stream that. Mosenrath, Legal Ganja. Anything else you want to add, Stace?
No, we touched base on everything.
Okay.
I'm still playing that Cardi B too, so
I've
just
dope.
been on that.
Yeah, keep on supporting her and getting her paid. You know what I mean? So we're going to end this one. And what's beef? You let us know. If you guys have any more big important beefs that you guys would like to talk about or comment on or us to post about, and let the world know that if we didn't touch bases on the ones that you guys liked or really were speaking of, let us know and we'll drop some clips or we'll speak more about it. So just hit us up and let us know and comment below on the Instagram post today. Also, we like you guys to subscribe, like, comment, share it, tell people all about the podcast. This is episode 5. We're going in and doing what we do best, and that's talking.
For shizzle
we love
dizzle.
talking.
And also, guys, you guys can submit music, and if you guys want to sponsor episode 2, don't be afraid to hit us up at allincheckpodcast@gmail.com, and we will definitely get back to you guys.
Also, shout out to StaceFresh, who always takes care of our social media and all of our platforms. And make sure you guys go and check out allincheckpodcast.com. We have some of the latest music up, updates, bios, and stuff like that. So if you guys have any questions or you guys would like to check out the website, go ahead and do that. Again, if you have any questions or, like she said, sponsors, etc., hit us up, allincheckpodcast@gmail.com. Today's episode was sponsored by Afterglow's Events. Afterglow's Events is an underground EDM hip-hop arts and entertainment company based out of the IE. Shout out to Afterglows. They reached out to us and they are the sponsor today. Again, if you guys are looking for underground EDM or hip hop entertainment, reach out to them. You guys can find them at facebook.com/afterglowpromo or email business or event inquiries at afterglowevents@icloud.com. Again, it's Afterglow Events. And you guys can follow them on Instagram at afterglow_events. Peace. Love. This is the All in Check podcast. I'm ARS.
And I'm StaceFresh.
Do you have anything else to say?
No.
Peace.
We out.
And hair grease. We love you guys.